from the meeting, can we still, or,
Yeah,
we have enough.
okay,
so
great,
we'll call to order at 7:05.
perfect,
We're approving minutes for February 8th.
yes. I can make a motion to approve the minutes from February 8th. Somebody wants to second? Marie will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I think it's pretty unanimous. Don't even need to go any further.
We're a well-oiled machine here at the
Yeah.
Rec Commission.
Absolutely. All right, Anthony, you want to talk about the adult yoga that was, you said going virtual?
Yeah, so they're virtual right now. They'll be finishing up the winter session on the 22nd. And then the week after, they're going to start the spring session, and that's going to be held at the academy in their yoga room at the North Campus.
Great.
And then we all talked to Don, and then our plan for that is as well to offer a virtual option in case there's anyone that doesn't feel comfortable going into any in-person classes.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's good. We got space at the academy and we can keep the class there because I don't know when the town hall will let us go back. If we'd be able to do that in the summer, or maybe look to stay at the academy as well.
Great.
And then, sorry.
And the academy doesn't charge us any rent, right?
There might be a small like cleaning fee. They might have to sanitize after, I think, under guidelines. I haven't heard back from Brad on that yet. He hasn't given me what that would be. He just said that he would make it fair for the class.
Great.
But I know for volleyball, we had to cover like for custodians, so I'm sure it'll be similar.
Okay.
And then he said the same thing too for that babysitter class. So that's going to be on April 12th and 13th. And I'm just waiting on confirmation from him of what classroom and space we can use for the class.
Great. So we are going to move forward on that.
Yeah, I talked to Janine. Everything's all set with that. I think she's going to require masks and gloves for everybody. And then I think she's got like sanitize the mannequins and all that stuff. So she's kind of got it all figured out.
Perfect. I'm glad we can offer that. That's good.
Yeah, so we'll be able to offer that, and that'll be that week before spring break.
Perfect. And then how did it go with I saw the art class with Miss Bud. I saw it on Facebook. Did we get any takers?
Yeah, yes and no. So why I say that is because it's pretty much everyone on the commission here.
Oh my gosh. So you know what? Then that to me means that we need to do a better job of like getting the word out.
So we have 2 other kids signed up. I got to reach out to the school again. They haven't been the best of getting back to me and getting the word out. So that's going to start. The first session is on March 31st, and then the second is going to be on April 7th.
Do you know if we put it on the Woodstock Proud page or Woodstock 2.0 page or just the rec page?
I put it on both.
Okay. I think in doing it more than once might not be a bad idea, just to kind of like put it in people's faces in case they missed it the first time.
Yeah, what I've been doing is I've been doing it kind of like once a week. That way it's just like a constant reminder.
Okay, good.
So I'll put it out towards the end of the week here.
Yep. Okay, great.
I think it'll really help if the schools will send it for us, whether it's through their like texts or emails, or if, how they've done it with other things, because then the parents are seeing it.
Right.
Versus hoping we catch them on Facebook.
Is there like a PTO page that we could put it on?
I could put it on the PTO page. It just hasn't been super active because we don't have a lot going on.
Okay.
So I don't think we'll get a lot of traffic that way. But I can see about putting it on the Woodstock
Public school
parents page, because there's a lot of people that go on that a lot. So that'll probably get more traffic.
Okay, that would be awesome. I'm kind of out of the loop with like the younger grades. I just don't know.
I do wish there was a way to electronically sign up and pay for it. I did do the old school form and check and all that, but like if there was an Eventbrite or a Google form or something like that, it would be so much more convenient.
Yeah, it would make it way easier.
I think that's
Just
been
for
our
future, not for
hindrance.
now.
with program, but that's kind of been like something that we've been talking about for the last like few years on the commission. Is just like having it be like more seamless for the parents in terms of like signing up for these things and paying, and nobody wants to mail a check-in. You know, people just want to go to PayPal or Venmo or Apple Pay and pay.
Yeah, it makes it way easier that way.
You
Yeah.
looked at some different programs and they would have been expensive for us, right? But is there a way to have something that people sign up online that isn't something that's going to cost us money, and then using Venmo or something like that for people to submit the payments or mail a check if they still want to? But I know there's so many times where I would like want to just do something in the middle of the night or whatever and just pay online or fill something out
Right.
online.
Even
I
a
mean-
Google form.
That's what I'm saying. Like a Google form is free. I mean, it's not going to cost anything. And it does the same thing. It's still going to capture all the information that you want. You can add a link to a Google form to pay. So if we had like a PayPal account or something for people to pay electronically, it would work without having to get fancy software.
I think you can accept payments through Facebook too? Would that be another option? Because I know like one thing
Does
that
that
Rachel
cost
like,
fees? Are there fees for that or no? Because
Yeah,
we
the
can launch it.
only
Yeah,
thing
that I
that
don't
there's
know.
really, the only thing that there's not going to be fees is if it's like a Venmo situation. But I know Venmo has like business, but I don't know. That's like the only PayPal, everything's going to take something from you. But still, if it's convenience and gets more people to sign up, I mean, it'd be worth it.
yeah, and it's easier to track on my end too. That way I don't have to keep going through all the mail-in forms.
Right. And if it was a Google Doc form, it would just create like an Excel spreadsheet for you every time and show you exactly who's registered. It will give you all the information.
You could just track the payments in the same Excel sheet.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
Well, I'll
got the
feel-
virtual programs going. We're getting closer.
Right.
Getting closer.
Well, we have
We'll get
enough
there.
for the first session at least.
That's great. But hopefully we'll still get a few more.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And then what we did, I didn't really put it on the form because I wasn't really sure how to word it. Like, so if there are families signing up, we're kind of going to let them, they can sign up for both or sign up for one or the other, depending on what's easier as well.
Nice.
Because she said both sessions are going to be pretty similar. It's just going to be a slight difference for the younger kids and a little bit more advanced for the older kids.
That's great. Well, at least we got that going. You know, it's another step in the right direction, I think. It's good.
I wonder if we could promote it. So like I could reshare it with our Girl Scout troop because the Brownies and the Daisies do art badges and painting badges. And they've worked with Miss Budd in the past to come to Girl Scout meetings. So maybe it's something where we could even try to promote it as a troop event. And then like our troop might even help pay for it for some folks too. So
That's a great idea, Erica.
wish I
That's a
was
great
on.
idea.
I don't know, do you guys have anything like that in the Scouts, Marie?
Reed and I stopped running the Cub Scouts last year when everything kind of closed down, and he really doesn't want to run it anymore. I mean, for years we've been trying to see if anyone else would take it over, just because we've been running it for forever. So we're not doing anything. I don't think anyone is running any Cub Scouts in town right now.
Gotcha. Well, I can send a note to Jen and Miranda and Vicky and just kind of see what they think.
Yeah. Not that we're close to it now, Anthony, but did she have like a cap that she wanted to put on it for number of kids?
I think 5 was the minimum is what she said, but I'd have to look back.
But was there a maximum or she didn't care?
I think it was like 20, 25. So it was a number that we probably wouldn't get to.
Yeah, just wondering in case it ended up being something where like whole Brownie troops or Girl Scout groups were doing it, just to get an idea.
There's only
Yeah.
5 in the troop.
Oh, okay. She was-
There's like 5
Not an
Daisies, 5
issue.
Brownies.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I was thinking when we were running Cub Scouts and it was like 40 kids or whatever. So I just wanted to check.
It's pretty small this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's- Still be
Worst
good.
case scenario, if we went over on one session, we could try to push them to the second or first, whichever one kind of overfills.
Okay.
Makes sense.
One thing I was wondering about, thinking of like upcoming springtime programs. Last year, you had talked with the woman who runs Pack of Paws, and they were going to do an outdoor dog training. I know I signed up and like only one other person, so it didn't happen. And then the world kind of shut down. But do you think that you might be able to see if they'd try again to offer something in Woodstock as an outdoor thing? Because they moved their location to Charlton, so they're probably not as close as they used to be. So I don't know if they'd want to come out this way, but it might help them get some people that might not want to go to the site for classes. And it was such a reasonable price too. And so many people adopted dogs during all of this, so it might be a good time to get people.
Yeah, I can reach out to her again and kind of get her thoughts if she'd be willing to try again in Woodstock.
Okay.
I like that idea, Marie. We would sign up for that one.
Woohoo! I know I would sign up again. You're going to keep getting me for all these rec programs.
Great
Yeah,
though.
that's something probably easy enough that we could do it like the soccer field at Senexit Village.
Right, that's where it was going to be, I think. And
Yeah.
that way there's plenty of space, people can space out, and it would just be maybe we might catch people at a good time if we could offer it again.
Yeah, I think I would just try to either probably go more towards a weekend, because I don't know if
Yes.
we'd really have time during the weekday to go that late.
Right. A weekend, I guess we just have to see what the actual like soccer schedules are going to be and when those fields are free. But if not, maybe there's another. I can't remember where, but I know we talked about the fields that we possibly would have clubs pay for. So if they end up not being used or anything, maybe we have other options too where we could do it.
Yeah, and I don't think Nikon's going to use it that much. I think it's just for the younger kids.
Okay.
I'll talk to John Peters again, because he asked me a couple days ago if we were going to do squirt soccer.
Okay.
All right. So I guess the kind of other big thing coming up would be that townwide cleanup. So I talked to Jay a little bit, and I got to talk to John as well. But what our thoughts are is keep it the same as last year and have people either dispose of trash on their own or bring it to the transfer station and just tell people there that what it's for. I reached out to Sprucedale and heard back from them, so they're going to sponsor again this year. So we'll use those kind of trash tracker forms from the last Green Valley and kind of enter those into a raffle for the gift cards that we did last year. Kind of do it the same way again. And then I think what we talked about is just having like John and the highway guys pick up like large materials or anything like that, but small stuff would just go to the transfer station.
We have businesses that are donating gift cards, or are those all through the sponsorship of Sprucedale? How does that work?
So far it's just Sprucedale. I can reach out to other businesses, but that's what we did last year, and I think they donated 5 gift cards.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
And then I can reach out to the academy and see if there's any like clubs or organizations that'd be willing to participate in this as well, just to kind of help spread the word a little more.
Yep.
But
That's great.
I think that's the only thing that I just got to talk to John to make sure that that'll be okay, and just having people go to the transfer station like last year again. Because I don't think we'd be able to do that. Because I think Crystal did like a breakfast or a lunch for volunteers at Roseland Park.
Was it a?
I think there was like food.
Yeah, I don't
some
know if it was
refreshments.
that and like, or just snacks, right? Wasn't it just
Yeah, maybe like
Am I wrong?
drinks and
Granola
donuts.
bars.
Yeah.
coffee and yeah.
And then I think that
Pretty-
first year when we talked about it, weren't we offering those like pickup claw type things? Are we still did we do that last year or no because of COVID? Like, is that something that people can still pick up? How is that working?
We didn't do it last year, and just through talking with Jay, I think they'd prefer if we didn't do it again this year, just to limit people coming to the town hall and kind of sharing like best in those pickers and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So kind of what we did last year and what I'll do again this year is we open it up for the whole month of April, and people could kind of do it on their own time whenever works best for them. And then at the end of the month, that's when we did the raffle for Sprucedale.
Okay.
And then I guess squirt soccer was the other thing I had in here. So I figured, I look back, we usually start that the first weekend of May. So I'll start that on May 1st and go on Saturdays again. And I would say more than likely it'll be in Senexa Village Road. I haven't talked to the elementary school, but I don't know if they'll let us use the fields, and it seemed to work there pretty well. And then, so the other thing is Stargazer Farm. They reached out to me last year and we were going to have them do that summer pony camp, but they weren't able to finish the barn renovations and kind of get everything built in time. So I went out there and met with her a couple weeks ago, and we're going to try it this year. It's going to start on June 28th. It'll go 5 days a week from 8 to noon, and we'll have 5 different sessions. She said she can take up to 4 kids in the camp, and then 2 would be the minimum to run it. And then each kid would have like their own equipment. That way we can kind of meet those COVID guidelines, so nobody's sharing anything.
And
She
is she providing the equipment?
Yeah, so she'll have helmets and everything for the kids there. And then she has like this big indoor area, so if it rains, we can still hold the camp as well.
Okay.
I feel like
And
when
are
we talked about it last year, we were concerned about the amount she was planning to charge. And I don't remember how much it was. And horse stuff is very expensive, but I think we were like, whoa, she might need to like align herself more with what other barns were charging around here. So do you know what her hope is for like the financial side of it?
Yeah, so what we settled on last year was $225. I guess for her, costs have obviously gone up for everything. So what she was hoping to charge this year was $235.
And that's for 1 week?
That's for 1 week.
8 to 12.
Yep, 8 to 12. So that's 20 hours.
And what do we get from that?
So it would be a 70-30 split.
Okay. I think that it's, I think, we'll have to just put it out there, like if that's what she's truly like, wanting to get. But I think when we put it out there, we just have to know that I think that the price is, could be a real deterrent. Although who knows, you never know, people might surprise you, but it is a lot considering that it's a 20-hour a week camp and they can go to, other camps for the same price, like all day till 5 o'clock and get lunch.
Yeah, it's just tough because I know our costs are higher, obviously, with the horses. And I know that $235 when someone
get it.
is going to be, it's going to stand out when they look at it.
Right. I totally get it. And again, I think like you just have to try it to know if it's gonna like stick or not. But if it doesn't stick, I think that it's because of the price. Just a little expensive for people.
Yeah, and when I met with her, that's kind of what I warned her about, that this might be a little high.
Right.
So
Might
we'll
not
see
work.
who we get and how much interest we get.
I
Right.
think the other thing we asked about last year when it came up was just like, do we know anything about like the background of her or her farm or reviews or anything that we're getting kind of linked with her? Just because sometimes, I mean, I've been a horse person for a long time. Sometimes the situations can be kind of like crazy, and then people end up posting stuff about, the woman's boyfriend was doing this and there's that at the farm and I had no idea my kids were there. And do we know anything about her or do we have any references or anything? I'm a horse person, but I just want to make sure we know enough about who she is and like her business and the reputation, I guess.
I would have to look back on her emails. I know last year she talked about she used to do classes down on Long Island, and I think she's still teaching down there. And I know they just built this farm, so I don't think they've had any programs or anything going on there quite yet. This would kind of be their first introduction to that. So I think everything she's run has been down on Long Island.
Okay.
But I
Did she
don't.
give any references or anything that, or do we not
She
really?
mentioned a town down there. I don't remember the name of it. I have to look it up. But she ran like similar to this through another town in Long Island.
Okay. That's
She
the other
has
thing. The Long Island thing could make her prices seem harder for us because people pay a lot more for stuff down there too. So
Correct.
She does have a Facebook page with 206
just-
likes.
I just did the same exact thing. I just looked it up. I was like, what's the deal? I gotta check it out.
So
it
bad.
just there've just been a lot of experiences, myself included, knowing like farms that, you know, all these people thought it was great and sent their kids, and then not anything that happened to me, but just knowing that then it was like issues with the other people that were there on the grounds, if they had borders there, so then they have other people in and out, and it just, every once in a while things blow up. There was a parent who recently just posted about where her daughter was riding, like on Woodstock Proud or on her own personal page, and then just talking about the boyfriend was there and he had guns and there was threats and there was this, and it just, I don't, the horse world is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really know. Since it's a new farm, I don't even think they have all the horses yet. Because when I was there, I think they only had 2 horses so far. So I think they're still in the process of kind of getting everything started.
Most
Their
of the pictures look
property-
like facilities.
Yeah, the property, the way that it looks online, just kind of like looking at what they've done in their barn and their indoor, it looks pretty impressive, like what they do or what they're trying to do.
Mhm. Looks brand new.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a really nice facility when I was up there.
Brand new. You
Do
know,
you
I mean,
know what age group they're going to open the camp up to? I missed that when I was taking notes down. Sorry.
Yeah, so I talked to her, and what the plan would be is 7 to 12 would be the age range.
Okay.
But yeah, it seemed like a really nice place, and that indoor track was really nice too, and that kind of makes it easier for her. That way you don't really have to be weather dependent.
Indoor is definitely helpful, whether it's because of rain or just because of how hot it is. Sometimes it just helps.
Yeah,
Right.
but I know it's new, and she mentioned like teaching Long Island, but I don't really know a whole lot about her background.
Okay.
all right. Well, the facility looks really nice.
That's good. I mean, the fact that
So-
they've put a lot, like investing into it, hopefully means it'll be a
Yes.
good professional business, you know.
Right. That's the sense that I get when I just kind of like look at the pictures. It looks
Mhm.
like someone's putting a lot of work into it. So
That's good.
Yeah, and
hopefully,
that's
you
kinda
know,
why-
give them a chance as a new, new Woodstock business and just see. But I would say if it doesn't take off, it's probably just the cost factor.
Yeah, and I'm sure 5 sessions is a lot. I don't think we'll fill everything, but if we could at least fill 1 or 2, that'd be nice just to do something new.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's always good to have variety. The cost, if she was marketing it on her own, just as her own business, I think people may be less apt to like balk at the price, but because it's aligning with rec, and with rec, like with basketball, everything, we've always tried to keep the cost like really affordable for families. It's kind of like part of the mission that I think it's just going to kind of stand out a little bit. But again, you don't know until you try. Like it might, if all she needs is a couple of kids, we might get that.
Yeah, because really you're only looking for, if you could get 2 kids, you can still run the session.
Right. So see what happens.
So we'll see. I met with her and we're kind of all set, and I'll start putting that out there a little later towards the end of spring.
Okay, perfect. Whatever happened, we let the senior stretch and balance go, right? With Thompson?
Yeah, just because since we had to split it with the 50-50, like we kind of talked about last meeting, it doesn't make sense. So I told her that we'll just kind of go with that first session, and then if things change, we'd probably easier to do it on our own if we ever decided to do that again.
Right. Okay.
But I know for
And
now
then-
she's running March just through Thompson, and she was gonna charge, I think, a little higher for like Woodstock, Pomfret, and surrounding areas.
Okay, cover the cost.
Yep.
Makes sense. And then the virtual Easter egg hunt, what's that about? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I could tell you kind of roughly what Lori's plan is. What her idea is that she would hide an egg on the website. There would be trivia questions and kids would have to find the egg located on that website. She would do 7 days. If they get all 7 of the questions right, then they would win a prize. And kind of what she was thinking is to be a small prize that we could mail out to kids. But there would be no like traditional Easter egg hunt like we've done in years past.
I wonder, instead of mailing something out, is it better to say like on Saturday morning from 9 to 11, you can pick up your prize if you earned it, at the Pink House? Just so you don't get saddled with trying to mail out a bunch of things. I don't know.
Because I brought this up with the business association. The other concern was too is, having on the website, we can't monitor and know who's participating in it. So the anticipation is it won't just be Woodstock residents.
Can we say that it's for Woodstock residents only?
I can ask her.
Because the live Easter egg hunt was supposed to be for Woodstock residents only. Or at least when my kids did it. I don't know. Maybe it's changed.
Yeah, I can ask her because I know the mailing was the biggest concern because it's just going to be costly and difficult to mail kind of prizes out to everybody.
Yeah, that does not seem like a good idea. Sorry. I don't mean to be like the bearer of bad news, but I just think that that's like setting yourself up for a lot of like extra work that it's just not. That's why if it's a little prize or it's little candy or something, they can pick it up on a certain morning from 9 to 11, and maybe someone dresses up like the Easter Bunny if you want to get all crazy.
Yeah, I can ask her because the only problem too is obviously we're getting pretty close to Easter and we haven't put anything out there yet.
What is the target age group for the program too? Because I'm just thinking like with the trivia questions or searching the website, like that's pitching to an older child.
Older group than what would have gone for the actual egg hunt.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing I was going to say too, is that you're kind of gearing it almost towards the parents helping the kids out because they're more than likely going to be the ones answering the questions.
And what's the deal? We just feel that having an outdoor egg hunt with people wearing masks is just too, is it because it's like over the amount of people gathering? I don't know. I'm sorry. The rules change all the time.
No,
we went a couple of years ago. That thing was like Thunderdome. Like,
oh, it is. Yeah.
Right. They divide them up, they set them free, and they go.
It is a little bit crazy.
I wonder if there'd be something instead of doing something virtual, because then that is geared toward older kids. What if it was like wooden painted Easter eggs around town, like, and people had to try to find them and then send in a list of where they found them or something like that, where it is a little more fun for like the family to drive around and look. I guess our town's so big, that would probably be hard. I'm trying to think of something that's not a gathering of people, but is still like an activity versus another like virtual online thing to do. I don't know.
Putnam did that thing with the hearts. They normally have their heart parade, and then they said instead everybody was going to decorate hearts and put them in the windows around town. So as you drove around town, it was filled with all the red hearts for their community event.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like Woodstock is so big. I mean, it's a nice thought to try to like do something for the kids for Easter, in the spirit of like tradition and what we've always done. But also just being the realistic person that I am, you have like 3 weeks to try to pull something together before Easter. And I think like you might just have to scrap it.
Yeah, because that's the problem. We're getting pretty close and we don't have anything out or planned
Right.
yet.
And the weeks just seem to disappear. I mean, I'm not trying to say like,
And I would
don't
hate for someone to put a lot of time
a lot.
into it,
Yeah.
right? Like burying trivia on the website and no one participate.
Mm.
Like I would
You
feel
know,
really bad
and
if they went to that effort.
It almost
unless
be,
you,
oh, go ahead.
well, unless you had like an Easter egg like hunt, but people had to, again, like you have a Google form and people have to sign up for it, and like your family is allowed to go, you know, between 9 and
Staggered start
whatever.
times.
Other, yeah, exactly, like waves, and then another group comes in at a different time. But even that, I mean, realistically, like you have 3 weeks to pull something like that off. I mean,
What
could
about
it
like
be
a
done? I guess, but
What about like a Facebook Live event of like virtual story time with the Easter Bunny or something like that, just to have some kind of like cute event
yeah,
That's cute.
that is
sponsored.
geared to the younger kids. Because you know a lot of families are doing the library story times, but they're the ones who work that can't attend those, and maybe they'd love to have like an Easter story time or something
And
like that.
craft.
Yeah, story time and craft or something like that, something simple that you can tell people ahead of time, have these materials or something, so that there's just a little event that exists but doesn't take all
I
the
like that.
coordination.
And maybe it could be live from the Pink House.
Right, that's what I was thinking, something
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
there, so that's where we usually have the event, and it still has something happen this year, but not something that you don't have to mail things after or anything else. I don't know.
That sounds something that you could realistically like pull off.
Yeah, I can definitely run that by her and kind of see what she thinks.
Yeah, like a nice story with a little craft. I love that. That's a great idea.
Because that seems easier, because I don't even know how she's going to track who's answering the questions, if they're going to have to email her, and it just seems
She's
like
not. She's not.
difficult.
I'm telling you right now, she's
Yeah,
not.
gonna
Like
be impossible.
that is not an idea. That is not an idea. Too complicated.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was Historic New England. Like, I don't know. She never said who made the decision. She just said that they couldn't have the Easter egg hunt this year.
Understandable.
Yeah, and it probably is something to do with like I still think like the gatherings are still under a certain amount of people, and I'm sure, liability and all that. But I think an idea with like a little craft and a story sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea, and it's way easier. So I'll see what she says, and I'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Great.
Awesome. And then the only other thing that we really have is the drive-in movie night.
Yeah, so I've been talking to her a little bit about that, and it sounds like that she would be able to get a screen and a projector from another Historic New England location. I guess the only problem was the
Great.
screen might not be the best quality, so that's something like down the line we might have to look into purchasing.
Right,
And
but at
then-
least we could maybe try one without investing anything to see like if people are interested, do people
Yeah.
come out?
It'll at least give us a way to test it out and see what we can get for interest before we
Right,
spend all that money.
correct.
Because the only thing that she was going to try to figure out, if we knew anybody or could find someone that could figure out a way where we could get the volume to go through either Bluetooth or, car stereos. That way there's that option too, that people don't even have to get out of their car.
Where would they park if we were doing
Yeah.
it like not with cars? I was thinking more like picnic blanket
Blanket.
style
Blanket.
because
Yeah,
Chairs.
I think that we're thinking just similar style to the concerts.
yeah.
Yeah, and kind of what Pomfret does for
'Cause
their.
I
Yeah,
don't think we have a space there where you'd be able to have like a parking
No.
lot of cars, like a drive-in and have.
Then you've got an SUV parking in front of a small car. Think about how they have to police it at the drive-in. Again, like way too complicated.
Because I think the only thing we would have to do with that is we would probably have to mark out like what we did at the concert in circles for the distancing.
Or little
Mhm.
cones or something.
Yeah.
Squirt
that's-
soccer cones, reuse them.
Yeah, that's easy enough because we already have to mark everything off for the summer concerts anyways.
Okay.
So at least it makes it easier. It sounds like she's going to work on whenever we decide that we kind of want to look to hold one of those, she can get the screen and the projector from another location and borrow it.
I think it'd be great if we could figure out a couple trial runs, one that's like a family movie night with like a family or kid movie, and one that maybe is like, you know, an old black and white classic movie or musical or something to get an older crowd and kind of see where the interest does lie, or like, you know, versus maybe just one run, but a couple different
Right.
styles of the night and see which groups really are interested in that.
That's actually a great
Yeah.
idea, Marie. I wasn't really thinking about that, but you're right. We could do like a classic series or something, and that could pull in some of the older people. That's an awesome idea.
And we're doing something for the seniors in a way, you know, but I mean, obviously
Right.
Yeah,
anyone can
no.
go, but to have that as a draw, you know, there can be groups of people that would really enjoy that. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a great idea. And then, yes, I didn't put this on here, but kind of the other big thing that I've been talking to Lori about is that during our summer concerts this year, we're going to try to bring in food trucks. So someone like Butts, or I'll talk to Taylor Brook and see if they have anybody. We just figured that we'd bring in kind of the food element to the summer concerts this year.
That sounds great.
Some of us may just come for the food too.
yeah.
Did you already pick who you're having for bands this year?
We have 2 lined up. She's been trying to get a salsa band for years now, so we're trying to see if we can find one. If not, then we'll decide on another band. But we had Grassroots last year supposed to perform. They had issues with COVID and family members, so they weren't able to perform. So we moved them to this year. And then I reached out to the Little Big Band, and they'll come back this year and perform. So we're just working on that third concert that we got to figure out.
I
Great.
see salsa band and taco truck in our future.
Yes.
We've been hoping, like, the problem is we can't find anyone like closer than like Bridgeport for salsa bands.
Is there? Yeah. Sorry.
But we figured the thought was probably try to see if Butts would be willing to come in for that Grassroots, and then I'll reach out to Taylor Brook to try to find someone else for that second concert.
Taylor Brook has, I know one of the trucks that they have come pretty often. It's this farm in Pomfret they're called Unbound Glory.
Yes.
Because I usually go pick up veggies there every week, and they do all different of like their own recipes, and I forget what style exactly, but they were also starting a pizza truck this year too, I think, like a brick oven pizza type truck. But their food always sounds delicious when they write about it, and they're nice and local, and they might be interested in coming to do one of ours or all of our concerts.
Yeah, I can reach out to them because we were looking to kind of keep it local with all the food trucks we were trying to find.
Yeah, and with all their like local ingredient, the stuff they grow, and they have really healthy choices that people might be really into. I mean, not that that's always what you want from a food truck. I have a lot of experience with vendors and food trucks from the fair, but you know, they'd be a nice option. I think they're really nice people.
Yeah, I could definitely look into them.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. So the road race, we pretty much decided no road race.
Yeah, with talking with Jay, we've said we're not going to have a parade or a road race this year. We did talk about like a virtual option. We just felt like since it's going to be the 40th anniversary of it, we'd like to kind of wait till we can have it in person and kind of make it more of a special event.
Okay, that makes sense. I think that's smart.
And then, so I talked to Jay today, and I guess the guy that started the Memorial Day road race, he just passed away. So we were talking about trying to figure out a way to kind of honor him when we're able to have that 40th anniversary.
Okay.
But we
Was
just
that the person that we were hoping that has run it like every year that we were hoping to honor, or that's someone different? Because I know there was someone we were talking about, 1 or 2 people that have run it like every year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's someone different. I'm not sure if he's ran it every year. But I know there was like 2 or 3 guys that do like every road race in Connecticut too as well. They have groups like that were kind of reaching out to us.
Okay.
I talked to Rick, and there was like some local organization that reached out to him about doing a road race, but I don't think that'll happen because I told him that we're not going to be running ours.
Okay, makes sense.
He just figured that way it's kind of easier because otherwise he's going to have to figure out through the highway department and kind of shut down roads. So it's just easier if we're not doing ours. And I don't know, I think Jog with Judy, I don't know if they're going to do theirs or not, or if that got postponed.
I haven't heard, like, I feel like what they had hoped to run it in October and then said, no, we'll just wait till the regular date in May. And I don't feel like I've seen or heard anything since that. So maybe they haven't made a decision. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything. So hopefully next year we'll be able to have the road race.
Hopefully. I think so. I feel hopeful about it. I think it will happen.
Or at least we're starting to have more things that we're offering.
Right, at least there's stuff on the agenda. Like, I'm super psyched that we got the I'm glad the babysitter thing got off the ground. Like, I mean, these are good. I mean, at least we're kind of getting back to some of the things that we used to offer. So
Yeah, because honestly, I was surprised the academy let us run programs over there. I thought there was going to be a no.
well, that's awesome.
I thought it seemed like in the past, usually whenever you reached out about like any sports or programs or anything being there, it was always a no. So I was surprised to hear now we can do some stuff there.
Yeah, especially basketball. That I got a very fast no.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's probably the one I'm thinking of. It's always been like a hard no.
Baby steps, everybody. We'll start with yoga. We'll see how
Yeah.
they behave, see how it goes. Maybe they'll let it. It's
At
awesome.
least that's a good group to start with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I feel like that's pretty good that we got a lot of positive, good things going on.
Yeah, like you said, finally things to talk about.
Right. Which is great. Which is awesome. Anything else, anybody? No, not really.
Oh, I had a quick question because I've only been on the committee a year or two or whatever. There's a family in town whose daughter who's not even one yet, that they just found out she has neuroblastoma. At some point, we were talking about trying to like figure out events or fundraisers or something to help raise money for them. Is that something that in the past, has the rec department ever like helped promote events for things for families in town? If like, I don't know how that works exactly, not looking for financial support, but like, is it ever something that we'd help? I don't
You're
know.
saying like if it was like a race or something, could we
Yeah,
help
something.
promote the race?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. I don't know that our, as far as like social media, we just have our Facebook page, and I don't
Yeah.
know how much reach that really gets, to be honest.
Right.
I think like the Woodstock 2.0, or the old like Woodstock Proud, got a lot more action, so to speak, like activity. But I don't know why. I mean, I guess our only hesitation in doing that is then like, would, lots of people be coming to us looking for us to promote things.
That's
But again,
true.
I don't really think we get a lot of action anyway.
Yeah, we have
So,
a hard time getting anyone to like, see our posts.
right. And the truth of it is, like, if there is a race going on in Woodstock or a walk or whatever it is, we should be posting it on our page, because in my opinion, like, that's recreation. That's like, hey, looking to do something this weekend, sign up for this 5K or whatever. But
Right.
I guess we would probably have to defer to Jay, maybe Anthony, to find out, if we're able to do that. But to me, anytime you're promoting something that deals with like recreation, regardless of the fundraiser, as long as it's happening in our town, I think that it would be appropriate. But
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Yeah, I
That's a
wasn't
nice
sure
deal.
legally if we don't do anything unless
I
it's like
don't
an
know.
official recreation. We were just trying to figure out how we can help them. And someone said a road race. And I said, well, I don't know how soon we'd be able to do something like that because, I mean, we were talking about canceling our road race, but I said maybe a walk or something. And I was like, oh, I'd have to see if
Yep.
on the rec department, if it'd just be another place to post it, you know, I don't know when it would happen or whatever. It was just something that came up because they just recently found out and I was trying to think of ways to.
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, Marie, like if it's like a walk or run, that's something I would totally promote on like my business page.
Okay.
I'd be more than happy to like, you know, promote that publicly as well. So,
Thank you.
The only problem you'd run into with like if you use town roads, then you'd have to go through that process of getting all those permits.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about organizing an official walk or anything, but it was some, you know, just a thought. We have no idea what we can do so far to help. But
It would be
Yeah.
interesting if local organizations could also put together teams. I was thinking, Sarah, like if you put it on your business page and like other people from BBD wanted to volunteer to do like a team to do
Right.
it or something like that could be really fun. That could be another way to fundraise, Marie,
Yeah.
if you guys
Yep.
move forward with it.
there might be a way that you could get around some of that stuff. Like if you, I don't know, could come up with a course like through Roseland Park.
I was just thinking
Go
that
in-
maybe we'd be able to ask Roseland Park if we could do something there because then you're not on the public roads and
Right,
Your
go
activity.
through the Little League area, you know, out the back and take that long loop and do it so many times so it
Right.
equals a certain amount of distance.
yeah. And that works easier for a lot of people with like strollers or something too, because you're not going down the road. So
Yep, so maybe something
that's a
like
good
that.
thought. I'll bring that up to them.
Right, and then that way too, after, you know, if you had raffle baskets or like
Mhm.
other things, you could have them displayed, you know, at the
That's true.
park. So,
Or a place to make a donation.
yeah,
Mm. I'll bring that up to them. Those are all good ideas.
think
And
about
I'll
that.
talk to Jay tomorrow and just get his thoughts, but I would imagine that wouldn't be an issue for us being involved.
Okay.
All right, what do you say, troops?
Make a
Are we
motion to
good?
adjourn.
Make a motion at 7:53 to adjourn this meeting.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll meet again in a